I love a Goth. Should I become a Goth? Yeah, maybe I'll enter a Goth phase soon. The Germanic language family is one of the most dominant parts of the Indo-European language family tree, containing languages like English, Swedish, Dutch, and of course German itself. Yet before entire nations were speaking modern Germanic languages, older languages of this family were being spoken by various Germanic tribes. Germanic tribes is a collective name for various groups of people who spoke a Germanic language of some kind who lived all across Europe in the distant past. It's worth noting they didn't just live in the land that now constitutes modern day Germany, they lived in other places that now primarily use a Germanic language, and even in places which no longer have a Germanic language as their main tongue too. The actions of Germanic tribes had a huge influence on the world we know today, yet it wasn't only their actions which helped shape our modern world. All these Germanic tribes, of course, had names, and many of these names have stood the test of time and have gone on to be used in a variety of ways to this very day. Take the various Goth tribes, who lend their name to the Gothic style like we covered in our high school stereotypes video, or even the Vandals, who were so fierce the idea of vandalism came from them. Yet their biggest influence has to be on place names. Places being named after tribes is pretty common across the globe, and what's amazing in the case of Germanic tribe names being used for places is how far-reaching they are. There are cities, regions, and entire nations named after Germanic tribes, and these names extend out way beyond the borders of modern-day Germany, and even Germanic-speaking places. They can, however, be found in Germany too, of course, with a great example of this being the place name of Saxony. In modern Germany, 3 states feature this name, that being the states of Just Saxony, Lower Saxony, and Saxony-Anhalt. This word of Saxony, however, has its origins in the German tribe of the Saxons. They initially resided north of the Elbe River in modern-day Germany. They clearly spread and settled throughout the land, however, as this name of Saxony has reached far and wide, being used in other places this tribe eventually called home. The name of the Saxons unto themselves is thought to possibly come from an old term meaning warriors with knives, because I guess that was their main weapon of choice, I guess. But the Saxons would travel further too, travelling to another island entirely, but we'll get to that in a moment. And just north of modern Germany we have Jutland. This is the name given to the land of Denmark, which is connected to mainland Europe, as well as the northernmost point of Germany itself. Before becoming modern day Denmark, this land was home to a Germanic tribe named the Jutes. This land is of course named after them, and their name came from some old, unknown Germanic origins. We mentioned the Goths earlier. There were a few Germanic tribes with Goth in their name. The Visigoths and the Ostrogoths are the most well known of. While we have them to thank for Goth music and Gothic fiction, the Swedish island of Gotland is also named after them, as they lived here. Where Goth unto itself came from, however, seems to be debated. Yeah, we don't know the origin of the term Goth, but it's wild how much that word has changed over the years. Like, Goth means different things to different people. Some people think like big black hair and makeup, other people think broody literature of the 18th century, something specific architecture. It's wild. I love a Goth. Should I become a Goth? Yeah, maybe I'll enter a Goth phase soon. At 29, that seems like an appropriate time to go into a Goth phase. No, I feel like if I had a Goth phase, it would have happened already by now. But I love how dedicated Goths are to the cause. Like, there'll always be a full Goth garb, and I really respect that. That's a weird tangent. But yeah, Goth tangent aside, let's get back to the Saxons and the Jutes. Eventually, these tribes would migrate to an island west of their homeland, along with another tribe, the Angles. The Angles were a tribe initially from a part of the aforementioned Jutland, and we have many theories on the origin of their name. One of these being that it may come from an old word for hook, in reference to their fishing capabilities. But back to the island the Saxons, Jutes and Angles migrated to. This island was of course Britain, and here these 3 tribes intermixed and became the Anglo-Saxons. Yeah, not entirely sure why the Jutes didn't get recognition in their name, that sucks for them, poor Jutes, but these Anglo-Saxons made themselves quite at home in Britain, so much so that the Anglo part of their name, which came from the Angles, gave birth to the name of the nation I am from, England. This is easy to see. You can just imagine the phrase, the land of the Anglo-Saxons, turning into the land of the Angles, which would turn into just Angleland, and eventually be corrupted into England. Yep, even my very own home nation is named after a Germanic tribe. And within England, we have East Anglia, which is named specifically after the East Angles, a sub-tribe of the Angles who made themselves at home in this part of the country. Before we continue, I want to say a huge thank you to my most recent Super Thanks leavers. So thank you to Super Thanks leaver Toze and Amboku. Apology about pronunciation there. They've actually left their second Super Thanks recently because they enjoy me mispronouncing their name. So fingers crossed I got it a bit more correct this time. We'll find out. Leave a comment down below if you're watching. Super Thanks are a great way to make a one-time donation to help support Name Explain and can be left directly in the comment section of any of my videos here on YouTube. However, Patreon is the best way to financially support Name Explain, and donating just $1 a month gets you ad-free videos, a chance to say what names get explained, an exclusive monthly newsletter, and your name at the end of these videos. All of that can be found at patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below. All that helps out tremendously. Thank you. This gives us places in Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and the UK, which have names from Germanic tribes. This shouldn't come as too big of a surprise, however, as all these nations primarily speak a Germanic tongue. Yet, places derived from Germanic tribes can be found outside of the Germanic-speaking world too. Take the region of Lombardy in Italy, which is very much a Romance-speaking nation. Yeah, Italy isn't Germanic-speaking, it's like the home of the Romance languages of Latin and Rome and whatnot. Yeah, when you think Germanic people, Italy probably doesn't come to mind for a lot of us, and that makes sense. This region is named after the Lombards, who were originally from northern Germany, and their name most likely means Longbeards, which is really cool, man. I'd love to have an entire tribe named after big long beards. Maybe I could be a Lombard. My beard's actually a bit too long for my liking at the moment. It's really scraggly and gross. I wish I had like a big bushy beard. That'd be great fun. But what's more impressive, however, is the fact that in 568 AD, these Germanic people travelled from northern Germany into the Italian peninsula and conquered a huge amount of it. This explains to us how a Germanic tribe name ended up being used in modern Italy. A similar thing has happened with a region of France too, Burgundy, famous for its wine as well as the colour which derives from the colour of this wine. This is named after the Germanic tribe of the Burgundians. They arrived from their home in the south shores of the Baltic Sea, which is quite a trek to say the least. How they got their name, however, we don't seem to be too sure. Speaking of France, the entire nation is named after a Germanic tribe too. Yep, France comes from the tribe of the Franks. Initially, they lived along the Rhine River, but moved into Gaul around the time Western Rome fell. Their name ended up being applied to all of this land, being called the Kingdom of the Franks, which became Francia, and eventually just France. Their name might come from their weapon of choice, a javelin of some kind. The Franks, however, contributed way more to language than just the naming of France. Frankfurt in Germany is named in their honour, and by extension, Frankfurter sausages are too, I guess. Yeah, those sausages you get in hot dogs, they're named after a Germanic tribe in a weird roundabout way. But likewise, we have the idea of being frank, as in the phrase, "let me be frank with you," meaning to speak freely. That may come from them too. And of course, we have just the first name of Frank as well. Yeah, the Franks, they did a lot for us. Good for them. As you can see, these Germanic tribes and their names influence so many place names, and that's probably not even all of them. Let me know about any other places that are named after Germanic tribes I might have missed out on. Also, please suggest a topic down below which could be covered in next Monday's Name Explain video. It could be about literally anything, and the topic can be as niche or broad as you like. I will then choose 3 of those topics and place them in a poll for my patrons to vote on. Then the winner from the poll will be the topic covered in next Monday's Name Explain video. You can vote in that poll as well as enjoy many other great benefits by visiting patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below, and by donating just $1 a month. Thank you. Anyway, that's more than enough for myself. But don't forget to go follow me on Instagram where I'm NameExplainYT. And don't forget to join the Facebook page, Friends of Name Explain, where you can chat with myself and many other name nerds. Okay all, take care. I have a tea this morning, it's one of those days. Should we get on with it? There are cities, regions, and regions? There are cities, regions. Pretty common across the globe. Being used in modern Italy. Modern Italy, I said at the end there, like the part of London. Let's do that again. Yep, France has come... That cup of tea is just coming back up on me. That's really gross. Let's do that again. That lived along the... Speaking freakly, like... Freakly? The kingdom of the Franks. Franks? Oh my god. Let's do that again. Whew. That's a tricky one.